What's going on, my fellow gamers? Just after 2100, it is time to kick off this Wednesday evening stream. Once again, we are diving back into Windrose, the newest flavor of the week, and a game that is still. I'm glad of the momentum that it is getting. There's already a patch development from our patch notes from the developers on what they're going to be doing from now for the next 6 months, which gives me plenty of time just to kind of bask in the glory of resources and questing that have been accomplished over the last couple of days. Really having fun with this game. I am one of those nerds that loves a resource driven game based on everything that you kind of need to do, focuses around. That's the core of it. And then you have your other, which is built around the questing and, of course, the ship aspect, the land aspect, and then combine your base building, which is another part of the core foundation of what I think is making this particular title rather successful. A lot of sophistication stuff without all of the. It just goes back to me in the simplicity of what a developer can do with a good game engine, or at least an engine where you can develop a game, I should say. It doesn't need to be, this incessant that fever that was there for a little while. Everything has to be 250 plus frames per second, otherwise the game looks junky, and it's like, no, that's not really how it works, but that's okay. All right, let's get in here. So I leveled up yesterday. Ended up doing. Let's see. Well, I finished. Well, I shouldn't say I finished a quest, but I'm continuing one quest line where I was in one of those strongholds for about a tasty 45 minutes, trying to make it happen. And as soon as we get in there, I can't remember which one specifically. I think it was a side quest. It wasn't one of the faction quests, and it's not the main one yet. The main one, I'm kind of working it to where now I've got about at least 3 quests that require to have a ship because it's based on what's going on the oceans. So, man, I tell you, the graphics on this game are just absolutely sick, and the audio. All right. So yesterday, I was able to get this. Nope, that wasn't the one. Yeah, this was the one. This was part of the continuing quest line for one of the adventures, and I was able to get one of the other sites. I think it was at one of the different islands, because the foothills is basically this one, and this one for now. I know because I have to do the quest here, and up there, the Brethren of the Coast and the Smuggler one. Now, the first stream I did a couple days ago, where I talked about it, kind of the accumulation of what my first 5 days in the game has been so far. So it was a bit of a soup sandwich because I just unlocked the foothills. I hadn't had a chance to really explore too much other than just a little bit of mining. And that stream was looking specifically for the hardwood. Now that I've had a chance to walk around and do some fun and excitement, now I've been able to kind of mark where a lot of the hardwood deposits are, which is interesting because some of the videos that are out there, it seems like that's still a little, I guess it's a little grindy for some people. And I'm not quite sure why. I mean, everything when it comes to resource gathering is going to be somewhat time consuming in its own way. One of the things that I try to emphasize in my last stream and video was, if you're just working on one particular thing, let's say we're going out to get some resources, right? Well, technically, if you're doing inland stuff, there's resources all over the place. There is no shortage of wood, rock that you can constantly hammer out. You're going to always run into, whether it's the dodos, the hogs, on the jungle, and even on the foothills area. But anyway, so when it comes to specifically the hardwood, I got some area. This one up here, at least on my map, because everybody's map was generated a little bit differently. This has, around this particular fortress, has just this like massive string and deposit of hardwood trees. The fortress itself, let me back up. This campsite has, which wasn't marked on the map, I put it on here on purpose because it has a separate, like one of those like log deposits of hardwood. And then there was another spot over here. And then, of course, on this one, I just kind of plunked down another campsite that wasn't naturally marked on the map like this one is. I just know that it's there. And then, of course, you've got this fortress down here, which has another a separate hardwood deposit. And then, of course, there's a nice little splunky area down here and up here by one of the other campsites. So it's interesting how you can label and sort of start to brainstorm your own particular strategy when it comes to resource logistics, right? And it is neat what the game can allow you to do as far as the flexibility to where, and again, to me, I just like games where you have part of the strategy is focusing on resource, because it does turn into its own logistics, efficiency, supply, because you know you're going to need these things even down the road, right? So let's say, because later on, doing like, we're going to be doing the Brig ship tonight. And of course, when we break into the third phase of this particular map or world or whatever you want to call it, obviously the frigate is going to be next in line. So it's already kind of planning ahead. Plus, when I want to start doing more base building, right? So it's just, grabbing little bits and pieces. And the way that I see it too is you have an unlimited way of storing everything that you have, which is kind of neat. A lot of times you kind of fall into games where, yes, you have storage options, but they're still limited. And in this particular game, again, kind of going over it, just, whoops, me and my keybinds. This guy's such a noob. Okay, not only do you have an unlimited amount of storage options, it's just limited by the amount of resources that you have to build something, which in this case I got plenty of wood and nails, but you can still pick, the aesthetic of what you're looking for, which is great. And then you got your little quirky labels down here. Okay, before we do anything else, one of the things that I thought was funny was, so my ship, I named my ship the Gabagool, right? And then I made a joke about it'd be cool if the devs kind of caught wind of that and created a dish that was like a Gabagool dish. Turns out they do have one, not that it's specifically called that, but I didn't really realize it at first when I was unlocking the decor. It turns out the meat platter, there's your Gabagool right there. So, I'm sorry, it's just a little something for me with that whole thing. But you got your meat platter there. You got your pork, and you got your bird, you got your crab. Probably make some pretty crazy gravy on the end at the end of the day. So just had to throw that one out there. So anyway, so Gabagool is in the game. We can all take a massive sigh in relief and say, okay, all right, it's in there. We don't need a separate like cooking recipe. I feel like I just totally forgot what we're going to be doing tonight now that I got that out of the way. So anyway, just having, again, and then the quest line itself that I'm working on. Yeah. Picking one that, oh yeah, the bitter pill. Okay, this was the one that, so that stronghold from yesterday took me about 45 minutes to get. Just because I went in there and I was building different fighting positions and going after everybody and just kind of taking my time, so that I can build blocks around where a lot of the stuff spawns. So if I want to go back in there, again, I don't have to fight my way all the way in and then fight my way all the way out. I can sort of get in, get to the different hotspots that I need, get whatever resources I want, and then just kind of skedaddle out of there. But this one takes us where we have to do we have to rescue Jacques Arnaud from captivity aboard a pirate ship. And these ships, which are, they are located right here. And there's 3, they're level 8s, I believe. Because I wanted to kind of float it on over yesterday, and I thought, I need to kind of step it up a couple notches to kind of take on at least 3 vessels that are level 8 simultaneously. And then there is got to find the survivors there. This one is the missing ship for the smugglers. And that's still part of the Brethren of the Coast, which is like a double, like a multi-layered quest line, which is kind of neat. But the reason why I do want to get this one knocked out specifically, not that one, that's my one of 1,000 death markers I have in it. The bitter pill is I'm curious to see what this decor looks like. It's decorative books and scrolls. Now, another little nerd factor about me, back in Warcraft, with the housing area, I've got my little study area built up. At the time, it was one of the small rooms for my Night Elf rogue, because my rogue is a bit of an academic, even though it is a rogue, right? So it's basically like a scholarly style rogue thing. And now I've got enough decor over the course of the expansion where I need to build out a bigger room and really, really deck it out. And then from there, I'm going to create a separate room that's more like a rogue room, that's more roguish. You know, that way that nobody gets confused about the role of a good rogue. But it is a night elf, so that's where the academic part comes into play. Not just running around all willy-nilly in the shadows, just, you know, schwacking mother truckers. Okay. So, again, so the big piece of tonight is we are adding to the fleet. We are building another ship. We are going to be doing specifically... We're going for the Blackbeard version, right? Now, a little, I know my frame's blocking so the rope and the shipwright's tools, I got enough of those and rope and everything else, so ready to rock and roll. As you can tell with the copper, I've got plenty of copper to go around there, and planks and all that. All right, so here's where we've been. What's nice about this game is pretty much everybody who's been really cranking out videos for this game has been providing a lot of awesome feedback for other people to kind of soak into and then decide how they want to adapt that to their game style. And that's something I can really wrap my head around when there's just a lot of good information, a good objective information out there to give perspective on things. So when it comes to the ships, right? So you get your 3 different variants. All right, so now we're talking we're going to focus on the Brig. All right, so the regular Brig, hit points are 70,000, max speed 20, cargo size 24, and you get 6 12-pounders. All right, okay, cool. Now the Brethren, that's your beefy one, right? Because we got, you know, increased hit points, which from the one that I have now, the Catch, which is a stock 50,000 on the hit points, so we're going up another 40, right? Not as fast, makes up in cargo size. Right, cargo size is not my factor, and hit points aren't really the main thing for me, but that's just my game style. The reason why we're going for the Blackbeard, even though it's got the same amount of hit points as the regular Catch, one, I want to put the 24-pounders on there, and I'm getting the speed that I'm looking for. And when it comes to making the 24s, we're going to get the separate recipe for that. We're going to get the separate keyhaul recipe, specifically for the ship. And then, of course, I'm looking to upgrade... oh, that's right. I have to have the actual thing selected. We're going to be upgrading the crew gear and all that stuff. Whether or not I'm going to upgrade it, we're going to try and upgrade and max everything out to level 10, which is where this next phase of the game takes us when we're doing the foothills section up to the main boss. So we can upgrade everything to 10. And that's what we want to do tonight. I mean, clearly getting a ship is not that difficult, but getting the recipes we'll be able to do, and seeing how far we can upgrade everything with the resources that I've been kind of stashing away. And with the... I did spend a couple hours just getting back on the seas again, just kind of knocking out some stuff, having some fun, getting used to the mechanics, right? Because, you know, you work your maneuverability, work your mechanics, you get more efficient at taking on multiple ships. So when we were done with the one stream, we were down. I think we were about 4,300. We went down to about 25 because I was, you know, getting stuff as we needed. And now we're back up to just under 4,000 again. We really kind of jumped on the gold ignits, which I'm not really sure how I'm going to do my jewelry just yet. But this one right here, you can sort of, okay, you can still see it. The ignat is how you actually, what's the word I'm looking for? I think there was a weird word for it. I can't think of it. But you're able to not just upgrade your gear, but go from like something to epic. That's what I guess that's the word I'm looking for here. So if I wanted to take that up a notch, I think that's where I got to make something else. I forgot how that works. But we can actually turn this into like a purple, which adds a different type of stat or buffer. So that's another thing that we're going to focus a little bit of attention to when it comes to the ship stuff, not just my weapon systems and armor, even though all that is. So all that is, I got everything up to 10. That's 10. That's 8 because that's not really that big of a deal. Everything else is 10, and then I got. I think that other stream was just I was able to bump up the weapon systems, and then I did get. A couple new pieces of jewelry. I did get another crude weapon, two-handed. I did get another saber, and I think it was the. I think I put it over here. It's the saber that gives you the crit. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so this is the one I got from that that stronghold yesterday. And so this one gives me increases critical hit chance by 10% at a 225 slash on an alpha for agility. This one is 220. This one gives me each successful perfect block applies retaliation effect, increasing your damage by 8%. Stacks up to 3 times. Excuse me. So again, technically, and the way I have my progression set up, I get that extra crit out of the melee anyway that I don't specifically need, but I hang on to everything because you never know when I'm going to try a different build. So, and then I got this one yesterday too. I'm not sure what posture does. I got to look into that one. And then I got another one from before that just consumed. That was the one I had originally. Resource gathering consumes 35% less stamina. The one I got now, I swapped out. Attacks consume 15% less stamina, which helps me do another full swing on my character here. So before it would take it up to about that first quarter of your stamina circle, and now that keeps me actually still almost about at least a full quarter plus a little extra when I do that whole thing, which is pretty good. So I'm actually got only I still got over half my stamina just doing that, which for me, for my playstyle, is great. It lets me address multiple threats at the same time, and I can work my block if I need to, and that doesn't wear me down as fast. So I can actually respond a little bit quicker when it comes to engagements, which is again what I was looking for specifically from my character. I think I had some stuff. Okay, so that was all caught up. This is all, I think I have plenty in there. So my hardwood stash right now looks something like this. When you kind of hit those rich areas, and I know my frame's blocking last two, but everything is filled up all the way to the very bottom. So I got plenty of bark, and that's the thing you need to really make one of the bottles when you want to do your toughened leather, and then just the regular hardwood for making whatever. So got plenty of hardwood right now for the time being. That's even after making stuff like the timber. Let's see. Right now, these are my deposits. These are all basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 stacks of 40, and then I got one little 6 down here. So a little over 400 on the iron, and then the rest is all copper ready to rock and roll. All right, let's do this, man. One other thing I remember I was going to do here. That's not what I wanted to do. More logistic stuff. There we go. All right. Okay. Time to soak up all these resources. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not going too quick and crazy and saying, okay, yeah, okay, it is the Blackbeard we want, because we want the 24 pounders. Okay. Bam. Easy breezy lemon squeezy. Very unceremonious, huh? It's just click, you got it. Okay, great. You're done, son. You're done. Let's see, promote to flagship. Let's go ahead and... All right. Now, I need to, or what I want to do... Oh, I know what I need to do. If it'll let me. Time to name it. Vespucci, after Amerigo Vespucci. And if you want to know who that is, Google it. Tyrian purple. What's this one? Storm on the Horizon. Kraken ink. It's so dark and rich that the hull seems coated in ink from monsters of the ocean depths. So basically, this was like the original House of Colors paint. Which seems like that's what it's. Let's go with the darker hull. Let's go with the darker hull, but I don't want to get too nutty with the sails. Let's go with let's go with the combo for now. The cool thing about where I'm going to be, going with the game eventually is getting the other recipes for the ships, just kind of doing the flag stuff and different hull colors and just having fun with that. Let's keep it. Let's just keep it the same. It'll speak for itself when we're rocking and rolling. Okay. Now let's head over to Tortuga because first let's grab some coin. And I was able to do oh man, what was it? What was going on yesterday where grabbed up a little bit more gold coin too. So when it comes time to either getting recipes for either base building or of course the ships, I have a little bit of flexibility there to kind of have some fun, and we'll see what's what. Just kind of hanging on to the insignias again, just letting those build back up. Depending on, I better bring some of those too, just in case I needed to be. I forgot if one of those recipes you need to be level 3 with whoever. But let's see here. We're gonna go straight to Tortuga. I think Tortuga is where you can't specifically sell. That's where you have to go to the other places individually, but you can still make all your purchases, and I'd rather just be in one spot and look what everybody has again. So, and I think we got what we need. How much is that frame block? Now you can still see that. Okay. And I'm testing out a new frame tonight. So before I just had one of my regular organic style frames for gaming, but I went on there and made a one specifically for that I thought had the aesthetic of the spirit of Windrose. Where am I going again? Almost thought I might have had to call the Transplant Center and ask about some interesting little side effects or issues that I thought I was having. Man, I tell you. Now, when it comes to my post-transplant recovery, everything has been going
tools, did you now?
No, I didn't. Everything has been going like clockwork.
Here you'll find the Brethren's finest wares, mate.
Okay, yeah, the Brethren's got some of the cool flag and hull colors and all that, which would be that'll be kind of neat to. But what I'm doing right now is just kind of focusing on the priority of where do I want to focus my attention. That's gonna, make things move forward and progress the way that I want to, knowing I can always go back. Okay, the bracing. There we go. So here's where it gets a little interesting. We've got the taking damage no longer affects the duration of repair kits. Now, that's not something that I've had to really focus attention on, even with taking on multiple ships in my catch, right? It's basically you just know how to do your maneuvering using the quick repair and how much it's going to give you back and all that stuff. So we got the as ship health drops, damage resistance increases, reaching up to 25% at 30% ship health. And then we've got the 5 stacks of this one. I've seen videos where people have this one. My brain is not really wrapping my head around where the real advantage is. And that's why it's great to at least see videos where people are utilizing these kind of builds, because it's like, okay, I see it happening. I'm not really sure. So really my big thing is going after this one. That way it's a constant resistance on that, especially with considering that we have the lower amount of health. So it's like, where am I finding that balance? So we're gonna get this one. Whapam. That's how you drop 300 quick, son. Dropping coin like NyQuil drops fever. And one of these, so I know a lot of people have been incorporating the naval tactic, that naval tactics slot that all the ships have. And it has been interesting watching this. I think that if I use my the one ignite where you can actually upgrade this to an epic, it applies one of these particular buffs to it, so you get an extra buff on top of what it already does. So I thought, okay. And then what I'm saving the gold for a little bit is just some of this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to really taking a deep dive into the base building, the different decorations.
Strong hands need strong gear.
And of course, specifically, I wanted the 24 pounders, and more importantly, these right here. So hitting a target with more than 50% of a volley applies raked effect for 25 seconds. All damage dealt to affected targets is increased by 10%, stacks up to 3 times. This one isn't so bad. After reloading, hitting an enemy within 4 seconds increases reloading speed, but reloading speed isn't really my biggest thing, because this is where it's a toss-up between, am I really worried about reloading speed, or am I actually working on the mechanics and maneuvering of the ship itself? So that way, when I hit a volley on one side, I can immediately, whether it's your port or starboard side, and then I can immediately maneuver to take effect of the opposite side, and then I still got my front guns I can use. So that's where the reload isn't really my biggest concern or hang up. So right now it's just, I definitely want, one, I wanted the 24 pounders. 2, all right, we can go with the volley effect. And this too kind of gets you on better adapted at really working your volley, kind of paying attention to the physics and the maneuvering. 2 moving targets trying to engage each other simultaneously. It's just like a regular firearms training, right? Trying to engage a moving target can be a little bit tricky because of the unpredictability of how it's going to move. Even though on the water, we already know if it's going in one direction, well, there we go. It kind of gives us better odds. So let's go ahead and make sure I got that one. And because when we go, eventually, when it's time to get the frigate, it's going to be the Blackbeard one. So we're going to go 36 pounders for main and 24 pounders for secondary. Already doing that. Cargo space just isn't as pressing of an issue for me. Only because when I'm out and about, and I'm specifically doing stuff with the ship, I'm only gathering resources when I'm out on the water, whether it's the barrels or whether it's getting other ships. So you pretty much get all the same stuff. So you're not really accumulating a lot of everything. It's a lot of very specific stuff. So you don't, I don't need 36, even though it is a generous amount of cargo space that you rack up though on the other ones. Where is that? Oh, is that it? I thought the catch was already there. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. Did it again. There we go. It's like, man, I'll play for like 5 minutes and oh, I got stuff on there. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, yes. Let's put it all over there. Let's grab this one. I want to see if I can upgrade. There we go. I'm going to see if I can get that one leveled up as well. And see what it's going to cost to level up the other stuff. See how high we can get the... Ascend. That's what it's called. Okay. All right, before we start burning resources, what is going on? What did I mess up already? Oh, that's right. Oh, who is the noob? Okay. Where did they go? All right. All right, easy enough there. In and in. Okay, so there we go. So if I use one of my, wow, that'd be like the whole thing. Ouch. I need to find out where I got those from. See if I can get some more. But any case, if I do that, so if I upgrade these or send these to an epic, I automatically get reload speed increased by 15%. So that's another reason why I'm not too worried about the reload aspect of things. All right, if I, let's see, if this goes, then repair kit's effectiveness increased by 30%. Which is great because now, even if I use the other ones, now I'm getting more efficiency out of the kits that I'm already using based on maneuver and all that stuff. So, yeah, what I forgot to do? I already know what I forgot to do. I forgot to create these as is like they are now. All right, I think I know what I can do here. Let's see if I can salvage this little debacle. The guy's always right where I don't want him to be. All right, let's do this. Get that back. Let's get this back. So that's the other nice thing I like about the game. The game doesn't penalize you for making little whoopsies. You can break everything down. You can kind of start over again. The only thing you really can't make up for is if you use your signets or whatever. It's like once you use that, you've used it. But what I do have the flexibility to do now is find out what I needed for resources to create one, and then get. I need to go back and get those whatever those things are. I'm chock full of proper vernacular. Tell you what, let's. How did I divvy this thing up before? I don't need to keep putting everything back. I'm not going to be out resourcing. So let's go back here. Let me check this again and find out, okay, what do I need to do? Number one, we need to create, we need to start at level 6. So I need more timber and more shipwright tools. All right, that's easy enough to do, which I'm pretty sure I think I'm going to need more of those, but we'll find out. And then same thing for this is going to be the same deal, right? 10 and 3. Okay, so we need to go back and just get like a bunch more of these without getting too carried away. We'll come back, knock out. All right, so since we're here, let's just make 30 timber, call it a day. All right. 30 timber it is. Just throw that back in the, we'll call it the ship. So I got one up by the, one chest up by the wharf. When I redo this whole thing, all the ship stuff's going to be in one area. It's all going to be like separate for itself, which would be kind of neat. That's how I'm able to kind of separate everything, just to make it a little bit more easier for me to navigate. All right, now we're going to head back to Tortuga. We're going to buy up those token things that we need. Should have paid it. I forgot who sells those. Let me double check that, and then we'll head over there and we'll get that done. All right, Brethren of the Coast.
Sailing here on sea turtles, did strong hands, strong plans.
All right. Oh, yeah, these are only 10 a pop. So let's grab. Tell you what, we'll start with 20. Should be enough to get us started. All right, let's try that again. Okay, yep, we're gonna need a lot more of those. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, we're gonna need, okay, let's make a bunch more timber and see where we need to max out the those nails. Okay. So I'm going to have to go back and get more of those things anyway. Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 10, 20. Let's go grab another 30 of those. Because I probably could have checked all that before I took off. That's all right. I don't know what I'm...
Sailing here on sea turtles.
I've got the Brethren's finest equipment. Just for you, pal.
Thanks, bro. Alright, we'll see where that takes us. Alright, upgrade. Alright, upgrade cannon. Alright. And let's see here. Oh, that's right. That was the that's what I was doing, the 10 leather for. Oh, we got, sorry, way to go grab those. All right, so let's see. People of Tortuga and the sewing tools. All right, that was the brethren.
That's the best we've got.
Adds up quick, doesn't it? Easy come, easy go. It's all right. I kind of been pre-planning a little bit on trying to see if I could at least max out the upgrades. And at least have a ship ready to go, maxed out, just to kind of take on some of the big boys that are rolling out there. Because that just means, again, if you're boarding one of the transport ships, right, that just means more silver, more provisions, more of this, more of that, more resources per boarding, per success. Bigger ships, even when you sink them, even if you don't bother boarding them, you're still getting more out of it. There we go. Bam. That's maxed out. Now, if I ascend this, which apparently I can't do. Interesting. I wonder if that has to be a, it has to be a rare, oh yeah, duh, it's rare to epic. All right, maybe we'll come across either there. Okay, let's outfit the ship. Might want to, how do you could have all of them at one time. Okay, I need, I guess we're going to do that. Nice. Look at that. Sorry, the nerd in me wants to kind of see the before and after, like before we put the cannons on and all that stuff. You know, like everybody else does a little bit. There it is, Vespucci. Nice. I can dig it. All right. Very cool. And then what I'm going to do eventually is build the docks out to where I can have each ship parked individually in its own area. We'll see how that works out. Okay, you go there, you go there, and I need to grab up some so I'm not taking that one out for the time being. Yeah, let's check it out. Let me get some of this stuff put back and then let's get after it. And we're kind of right back where we started the other night, back down to 2,500. It's all right, though. Definitely. It's actually not difficult to calculate now how much you could make, you know, per ship run if you're trying to build your silver back up. And we already know that one of the factions you can sell silver for gold and back and forth and this and that. So it's and I haven't even used up all these for building up reputation yet. And the rep builds are pretty straightforward. It's level 1 to level 2 is 100, 2 to 3 is 3, 3 to 4 is 600. So it's easy to already kind of calculate, okay, I need X amount of, won't need any of this stuff. Where did I put that? There it is. All the planks went here. And we'll just throw this stuff in there too. Actually, yeah, that's fine. And I'm not worried about the salt just yet. So, all right, let's take her out, man. Let's do this.
Helm's yours, Captain.
Oh, good grief. that is pretty legit. Oh my goodness, man. Nice.
More sail, more speed.
Dude. All right, let's... All right, so the first task is we're going to head over here and see if we can take on the those level 8s. Board that ship. Clear that quest off the books, as I like to call it. Just clearing quests off the books. Musical bunch, too.
Come on. Call all hands to man the capstan. See the cable around and clear. Heave away and with the will, boys. For Tortuga we will steer. sing in joyful chorus in the watches of the night, and we'll sight shores of Tortuga when the grey dawn brings the light. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to dear Tortuga, rolling home, dear land to thee. Up aloft amid the rigging blows the loud exulting gale, like a bird's wide outstretched pinions spreads on high the swelling sail, and the wild waves cleft behind us seem to murmur as they flow. There are loving hearts that wait you in the land to which you go. Rolling home, rolling home, rolling home across the sea, rolling home to dear Tortuga, rolling home to land to thee.
And we could. Well, I don't want to.
1,000 miles behind us, many thousand miles before, ancient ocean heaves to waft us to the well-remembered shore. Cheer up, Jack, bright smiles await you.
So I was thinking about what to call the crew, because they are quite the a cappella group, right? So I was thinking like the pyrotechnics, or the cannon fodder, or insert whatever quirky little phrase. Hopefully that atrocious humming didn't snap any eardrums. Let's see here. I'll just keep on the course, and then we'll see what's what. That was pretty sweet. Looks like we may have to get into a tussle before the tussle. Let's see if I think they're turning right into me too. All right, well. All right, let's go. Missed. Nice. Absolutely obliterated him, though. Nope, too late. All right, we're gonna get rid of this little guy real quick because it can get a little suffocating when these little ones just absolutely they can just sit there and spin around you all day taking pop shots at you. Alright, well we got one disabled. That's good. Forgot which one we got to make sure we don't completely blow out of the water. Oh, you know what? These aren't even the... Oh, yeah, it is the quest one.
To the iron, lads!
Ah, barely touched it. Alright, now while we're repairing, we're going to swing around this guy right here to kind of act as a little bit of a buffer. Because now they have to maneuver around him as well. It gives me enough time to get just enough juice in the tank. Just like that. And then we'll knock another one out real quick here. Alright, now they're out of commission. Circle around again. The Reaper's the one that we actually have to board, and we actually have to take that one back. I think. I don't know why it's still firing at me, but... Alright, let's see if we can maneuver. Well, that's going to be the fun part, is maneuvering this bad boy where we need to. Alright, well, that wasn't too bad. 3 level 10s. Now I can do a normal repair kit while I'm getting myself into position, which is nice, so... That's why I wasn't moving. I was going nowhere. This is where it gets a little cumbersome having a bigger ship. The maneuverability. Oh. Good grief, man. Wow, somehow ended right in front of it.
Ease the sails.
Alright, 2 hours later, maybe I'll be able to... Alright, I know it has a wider turn radius. Even adjusting for, like, you know, you slow down when you want to go into your turn and all that stuff. Makes perfect sense, but obviously this one... It's a little bit different ball game. Alright, now we're kind of... Now we're making it happen. Alright. And then after we're done with this one, we're just going to sink the other two, get what we need, and then that'll be it. It's a nice little war cry they got going on. Just caught him coming up right at that very last moment there. I blocked you, bro. Actually, no, I didn't. He had that little melee thing he could do. Come on, get away, get away, get away. Oh, we got it. That's what happens when you have a good crew, man. Hold it down. Okay, I'd like the board, please. There we go. Didn't quite saw what we got, but I know we got some good provisions there. Okay, yep, sell that, keep that. Boom. Nice. Oh, don't worry, I didn't forget about y'all. Oh, no. Oh, no. Guess what I forgot to do? I was supposed to... Oh, no. Totally forgot about that. As soon as I hopped over, I totally forgot what I was supposed to do. I literally just sank the quest boat. Oh, I wonder if I can reset it then. Or how would I even do that? It's a cool little war cry they got going on before we get over there. Oh, man. Who's the noob? Funny thing is, when I bounce this over to YouTube, I'm not going to edit that out. It's like, yep, old boy did the rookiest mistake ever. All right, now the only thing I can really do is get out of this area and see if I can reset. But we know ship-to-ship fighting, that's not an issue. And it kind of worked out. I was talking about originally where all I'm doing is using, once we start the maneuvering, that's when you start your repair. You're able to kind of like, use the turn to get those few extra seconds. Oh, that's right, everything's on the ship. I'm just a little on the... And this is where, again, the cargo thing isn't that big of a deal, because mainly, just picking that up because of the barrels, but so what you're really focusing on from ship to ship is you get your repair kits. So I've already stocked back up on the repair kits that I use. Now I've got a couple extra that I'm just going to throw back into storage. Your insignias, because, building up rep. And, of course, you're getting extra provisions to sell now, which is kind of nice. And then, of course, the steel nails, which comes in later, a little bit down the road. And that's why I've got a thing over here just to kind of dump all the stuff into. So it's really the repair kits, the steel nails, the Master Combat repair kits, and then whatever. Because one of the factions, you can actually sell the repair kits. And if you take the rare ones, a stack of 10 gets you 100 silver. I don't know what the purple and the greens do. I haven't tried that out yet, but it's just another... again, this is how fast you can stock up on things without really having to go out there and worry about using up resources, because you'll get everything back, and you don't have to make a separate purchase. So it's just, you're playing the game, you're out doing your thing. It kind of takes care of itself. Yeah, we'll throw everything in here. I cannot believe I did that. It's like a half a swim. Like I might drown just getting out there. Of course, I could take the little boat too, but...
Ship's under your hand, Captain.
All right, now is there a port closer to that area? We're going to head there again. Let's see. All right, if not, what we're going to do, so here's the plan. We're going to head back over there and see if there is a respawn. If not, then what we're going to do is hit one of the jump points, and then we're going to try this one over here, where I got to find another missing ship. So we're going to do a jump point to one of the travel destinations here, and then we'll just head on over there. And then we'll take her from there and see what happens. And I could have repaired the ship while I was back. You know what? Now, the other thing I know that you can do is, and it's actually pretty neat, what some people were kind of showboating, haha, in the sense of the word, is you can use a fast travel spot while you're out just to go back, do a repair, and then get back out there and I think get back into it. I didn't think you were able to fast travel while you were actually in an engagement, so I'm not sure how that really works, but oh no, that's not what it was. They had a dock and it set up. I don't know what it was. Honestly, I don't really remember, but it was a way to shortcut repairing up your ship and then getting right back into pretty much the same area where you were engaging. So I'm getting this weird, the last couple days I've had an incredibly weird achy feeling right where my resection was, and also at one of the hot spots with the bowel disease that I also have. So it's always a toss up between, okay, is this my resection on the fritz, or is it just all the regular stuff? So that's always been a little on the, never worried about it. It's just one of those things that it gets your attention, because when you actually go for a nice stretch of time and you're feeling the way that I put your new normal, and then when something kind of goes back to how it was feeling like all the time, it's just like, ooh, what's going on there? What is that? The nice thing about having a transplant is if something starts to go wrong, it's never going to be subtle signs. When something goes wrong, it's going to go fast, like quick. And for me, one of the first things is, and well, with any transplant, is possible rejection, which means your body's going to start fighting it like it's that's why I take the anti-rejection medication. But really, elevated temperature is the number one thing that it'll skyrocket. And so we already have like the magic. If your temperature ever hits this number for this long, you call the 24-hour line and say, hey, which I did have to do when I got, so when I got the surgery originally, I got the call Tuesday. No, when did I get the call? Yeah, Tuesday morning. Surgery was Tuesday, so it was basically at the hospital for 8 hours waiting, and then got the surgery that night. So day one started Wednesday. I was home by Saturday afternoon, and then from there I was readmitted twice. I was readmitted within that first week because of a bacteria infection that was building up, so they needed to get that under control. That and just elevated temperature. They don't like to use the word fever, even if you're like at 102.7. It's like, well, it's like an elevated temperature. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Whatever y'all want to call it. So I was in for 4 days, got that under control, and then 2 weeks later, I went back again. I was actually on my way back from one of my blood labs when I got the call, and they said, hey, we need you to come back because we're getting signs of rejection. And somehow they picked that up in the blood work. So I ended up going back again so they could get that figured out, which they did. It was fine. It was interesting because it was the first time during this entire process that I had talked to the infectious disease section of the hospital, whatever. They kind of got involved, and they were wanting to do some stuff, and that's when I found out, number one, that you can't do a endoscopy or an ERCP endoscopy on me anymore, because if you go down, there's nowhere to go from my stomach, because you used to go through the bowel duct opening, because that's not there anymore. So I ended up getting a transjugular biopsy. First time getting one of those. Okay, so that respawned, great, and it also respawned with those ships right there again. So let me do this. I think those, oh, okay, so I guess those 5 ships are automatically there. So we're going to figure out a little bit different strategy for trying to take out those level 3s. And since everybody are alerted to me, maybe I can draw them out a little bit. Because the point's the ships. It's not specific to the area. I don't have to stay inside the circle. I just have to get the ship and then board it. And then, so technically, if I wore down the Reaper and then boarded it, did the thing, completed the quest, all I got to do is just try and skedaddle out of there. Anyway, so transjugular biopsy. If you've not had one of those, it's exactly kind of what it sounds like. They go through my jugular vein and they go all the way down into, and they go into my hepatic artery, where that's what got reattached when I got the new liver, or the donor liver, I should say. And then, but you're awake for that one, so, which isn't, it's not that big of a deal. But that was, yeah, that was the first time, because and also if let's say they want to get in there, what you can't do is a regular scoping procedure, because infectious disease wanted to do that because they wanted to get where the resection was to kind of get a sample of something, and then that's when my actual surgeon stepped in and said, no. Apparently you can't do a scoping either, because the location of the resection means you have to get down and underneath, for lack of a better word, and you can't just do that with the scopes. So you either have to cut me back open or you have to do a transjugular biopsy. Those were the options. They said, "Ooh, we'll do transjugular biopsy." So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up north. I'm going to cut westbound, and I'll see if I can cut back and get these 3 outside the circle without alerting the, since I know they're a part of it. Take those 2 out first, and then get into the engagement with the level 10s, and then we'll take it from there. See where this takes us. And maybe I can, since I got bigger guns. Forgot what my reach is with this thing. A waste of a shot right there. Almost. So, and here's a good example of, so I got a repair kit, and it just happens to be one of the, it was a rare one coming out of a level 3, which typically that's why I've got as many as I do of those. And that's just another good thing about even going after some of the lower level stuff. You don't have to sit there and try and do this big drag out fight with the bigger ships just to try and get, you know, better stuff. All right, now we're gonna bring her about and initiate the Kuma maneuver. Oh, there's another one right there. So now we got 2 extras. All right, so we don't want to get right in the middle of that cluster and then get broadsides from both sides. So we want to force at least one of them to have to try and do some outside maneuvering. Because if I can get a, like that initial engagement, so like first contact hit, get 2 front, and then get at least 1 broadside. That's a good start. Get some points on the board, and instead of overshooting everybody. Oh, that's not good. That's exactly what I was trying to avoid, too. Yikes. Alright, let's pop a repair kit. Okay, it kind of worked out, but not... I wasn't trying to take a hit from all three simultaneously. I just happened to get that one dude with a couple volleys, which is okay. Oh, if I hadn't overshot that, that'd have been great. I could have engaged the Reaper at least. Oh, snap. At least I got some positive hits out of that. That's not bad. One more should do it. And it didn't. Are you kidding me, dude? Alright, now this time let's focus on the objective, which is a rescue operation. I guess you could say it's a hostage rescue. CQB. Yeah, and technically this is like 18th century CQB anyway, because when it comes to your linear assaults, that's always going to be, meaning linear, which is basically boats, trains, planes, and hallways. I can't believe I just missed the entire thing all over again. I thought I would undershoot it if I was too low. Good grief, man. This is so ridiculous. Missed again. All right. All right, so my main focus now is to get, I'm going to assume below deck. Try and get this dude. Okay. I guess maybe we have to take the ship first. So let's get back up top. I have no healing potions because I forgot to reload up on that. And I didn't want to be taking on the sergeant without a... Came around and got me anyway. Oh, man. Okay. Now, the nice thing is, everybody's still going to be there. The ship's still going to be down because it didn't get destroyed. So we just have to reboard. And since I can't free oh boy before we actually take the ship, so it's okay, board, take the ship, then free oh boy, then get off and all that good stuff. And in the meantime,
Helm's yours, Captain.
all right, let's try this again. Third time's the charm. But I just remembered what I was supposed to do the first time. I wouldn't have to be going through all this gobbledygork. Hour and a half into the night. Are you still working on that one quest? Yeah. Just taking my time, just keeping it real casual here at Windrose. But the nice thing is, again, with my particular playstyle, at least what it does show is if you want to do the Blackbeard version of whatever ship, even with the lower health count, there's some ways to make up the deficit that you can. And I think this last run was the importance of not burning through a volley, right? How many volleys did we waste missing? Which just elongates the entire scope of the engagement. But being able to take on 3 10s at the same time, and then, yeah, calling it a day there. And then let's say I want to make up the deficit on the repair kits. Well, I just hit a lower level area, just knock out a bunch of small ships, get the repair kits back, and then I'm good to go. We got a lot of blue barrels lying around. That's quite a nice little chunk there. 1, 2, 3, and then that one. All right. So once we board the ship, free old boy up, sink the other two. We're going to run back, see about getting these barrels, because they'll have some kits and some coin. Assuming I don't get schwacked by the old Sarge. Yeah, get that salt back. Oh my goodness. I know you can engage from across the ship. That gets a little interesting, especially when you're just bobbing up and down and everybody's moving around. Besides, I'd rather be there with my guys holding it down. How many sergeants does this boat have? 3, apparently. Oh, that's why one got me. I didn't realize there was that many on there. Now, sometimes I can't tell who's who. Coffee supplies, contraband, and 259 on the. So I pretty much already made up what I spent on the other stuff. There we go.
My fate.
In case you can see the screen, wanted to save his precious little boy, got him killed instead. Huh? That's how he always was. Never listened to me. I hate him. Let's see here. You need help. Smells like family drama. Are you in on this with the pirates? What are you talking about? There's so much blood spilled. I don't need help. Not from you. Such and such. If it weren't for you, I'd still be running things here. Oh! The old man never cared. Only for his company. And when I vanished, ha! He just kept on counting his money. Never listened to me. Never listened to Mother. Never came to see her when she was sick. She died because of him. I'm feeling sick. Is that a bullet? I was in good standing with Teach. All I had to do was stage a kidnapping. If it weren't for you. Oh, dude. Treason. So my plan worked? Ha, hilarious. His own friends will kill him. Serves him right. He belongs. Such and such. Well, that explains that one. Kind of figured the way the story was building, it seemed like he was in on the goings on. Now we head back to Tortuga. Let him know the unfortunate news. I wish he could finish these guys off, but good job, everyone. Good job. Good fighting.
The ship's under your hand, Captain.
Now we sink the other two. Get to Tortuga, turn in that quest. Yeah. Oh, I wanted to see if those other barrels were there. Stock up on some stuff. Well, I can't wait to get the frigate. That's going to be the Blackbeard version of that. So it's going to have the main batteries, the 36 pounders with the secondary complement at 24. Oh, that's going to be insane. Couldn't see. Oh, we could just completely down these fives. Let's see if I spin around, see if those barrels are still there. Yep. All right. And I realize it's just wood, but all that's going to get dumped into my one of my supply chests. So it's just extra stuff I'm going to have for doing another build or basically the base design. I know I'm going to need a lot of that. So already just extra stockpiling for coming up with some interesting ideas. Oh, that's right. It's nails, silver, and wood. Okay, now let's get up to Tortuga. Bonsoir, Francois.
Some debts are personal.
No, I ain't gonna lie to him. Oh, so when Galen said that his colleague in Europe had found a cure, I went there immediately. When my wife's condition worsened, I was at sea returning with medicine. A storm broke out and we were blown off course. I only made it back for her funeral. Shock never forgave me. Well, I turned out to be a bad father and a useless friend, but I still honor my agreements. Like a good merchant, here is your reward. Neither Ben nor Hornigold will make a public example of me. Perhaps tomorrow I will simply disappear. The rumors have already spread. I even saw Galen at the tavern. Please tell him how sorry I am. Au revoir, my friend.
I just want to see my son.
Oh, I thought he was one of the ones you could hire. Let's see what's going on in the old tavern these days. Let's see what's up with.
I need more coffee to function properly.
A strong drink. One bottle and your heartache is gone, but your head won't thank you later. The traitor's been found. We're celebrating, don't you think? I even betrayed my beloved coffee. Sorry I started without you, Captain. Let's see, you're holding up well. It could have been worse, or you should forget about that story. Yeah. I realize it all leads to the same conclusion. It's just the thought process of having fun with the storyline. So don't get too crazy thinking, is this guy really thinking he's like shaping the story here? No, I don't. It's just the reminds me of those old books where you could pick whatever you want and then go to page whatever. Yeah, that kind of thing. Let's see here. I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of want to. There we go. Burn through this. Oh, that was the end of it. Okay, cool. All right, we got that decor item. Nice.
They're making some kind of noise. Hear that? Well, would you like a drink?
See what you got for me, big dog. That's all for now. Okay. All right, all right, all right. I feel like somebody else is here. I didn't think that was possible.
Captain at the helm.
All right, let's get on back and let's get offloaded here. That was a lengthy side quest, that's for sure. Worth it though. Definitely lengthy. Okay, so we've got. All right, so we started with just under 4,000. So then we had to make our purchases to do all the upgrades, which we were able to do, right? So we were able to kind of achieve mission objective there. Got the ship, didn't have to spend a lot of time trying to craft everything. I'd already kind of planned for that ahead of time. And then got the cannons, got the hull bracing, purchased those recipes, got everything made, and then everything upgraded, including the crew, basically the crew upgraded. And then was able to just take to the questing, and that's where I really botched it up. So, but all in good fun. All in good fun. So now we're back at 34. That's not bad for everything that we had to spend. Basically, again with the what am I trying to say? The provisions you need from the different factions, like the sewing kits and then the shipbuilding kits and all that stuff. And eventually I can take these out and take these and sell these. That'll bring in a little bit more silver, racking up a little bit more of the gold. And of course we need to pop our coffee in the stores here. Where did I put my coffee? Oh, I think it's in this one. Nope, nope. So that's why I need to redo all my kitchen stuff and cooking stuff. I'm actually going to build a defact for my guys. Because there's one thing crew always needs, man. It's good chow, right? And even Napoleon said, army marches on its stomach. Fun fact, and of course everybody already knows this, French army was the ones that created margarine. Because the butter just didn't last through those long, crazy marches they were doing. So they came up with margarine, which is a bit of information that I'll probably never have to use in an episode of Jeopardy that I will never be on. We do need, let's stock up on, actually I really don't need anything. Let's do one more. Top off a little bit here. I could make the iron bullets. What I wanted to do first, before I started getting crazy doing all of the crafting, is I want to make sure the ship was built in 100%, and then everything else was built up and upgraded and good to go. So now we got weapon systems upgraded, armor's upgraded, ship is upgraded, and so now I can kind of focus on... Oh, man. A little bit of tension there. And it's interesting too, because my incision area, and it's interesting when you, this is where I take another pause about looking at when you're hearing about people's stories, especially when it comes to, and I can only speak for liver transplants, right? And everybody that's either had a liver transplant because of liver cancer or one because of bile duct cancer, which was my case. I had intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma, right? But my incision area seems to be, I haven't seen anybody else's. Mine is typical, right? From sternum down to my belly button, but just in front. So they didn't cut below my belly button down into lower. So mine just comes from the sternum down to the top of my belly button. And then I have a horizontal cut that starts on my left side and then hooks around to the right. And the right side cut is a little bit longer because that was the spot where everything really got worked on and resection and everything else. So I've got a little bit of excess scar tissue there where the initial swelling was. But the scar itself is healed up to the point where it's there, but it doesn't look all crazy looking. I mean, the surgeon did a absolute insane job. And like pretty much everybody I was stapled up pretty good. Had 50 staples in me, I think, and had those taken out within just a few weeks. And yeah, so yeah, it healed up. Like, that was not the problem. But then, so my main bile duct that comes down from your liver has been resectioned into my intestine. And so the resection, the other bowel issues that are already on the books, so to speak, sort of are all in the same place. So when something's happening, like you get that ache or you get that little weird tension, you have to kind of start opening up the files a little bit and saying, okay, is it this or is it this? And but I'm still able to eat, or I'm still eating. The last couple of days I still don't have an appetite, but I just know when it's time to eat, because you need to do that anyway. So, and I don't eat large amounts, that's for sure. Just eat something to keep me going. All right, let's get some food, man. We need to... I do like all the different choices you get now based on playstyle. Do you want vitality? Do you want strength? Do you want endurance? And you've got your mastery, vitality, a couple different kinds of vitality. So let's say I'm running a little low on bananas or something and peanuts, and I can go back and say, okay, well, I've got plenty of sweet potato, meat and the cayenne pepper thing. Strength, agility, precision. It's pretty legit how they kind of rolled this into everybody's play style. So again, you're not limited on only one specific parameter. And I think that's another aspect of a game like this that can keep people really engaged, because eventually I'm going to try a different kind of build out when it comes to the various like the two-handed stuff, which I was using one before. I just like the saber because I've still got that, and I talked about this a couple days ago when I streamed. This rapier right here, wait, that's not the one, this one, the rapier of 1,000 cuts. So some people have been commenting when they got this particular rapier, or they're still looking for it. So I got this one after I got done with Richard Thomas, right, the very first boss. So when you went through the rest of the cavern and you were doing all the searches, because that was part of the other quest line, I picked this up. So I just assumed it was part of that end of or end of boss quest item reward or something. But this is the one that gives the bleed damage on, you know, everybody you're engaging, and then you can set your progression up to where you're getting some of that back. So you're getting bleed damage back as health gain, and then that stacks up. And what's his name? I just mentioned about Z1 Gaming. So if you go to his channel, he's got a couple videos because he did a ship upgrade. I think he released a video today. He did a ship upgrade, and he's got a really good video on looking at what the rapier does. So like he actually sets everything up specifically to say, okay, here I'm going to engage, look at the numbers, so you can see the numbers, you can watch his health gauge, you can kind of see all this happening in real time by the numbers. So you can already kind of calculate with that specific build out, you know, fit your particular game style. And I haven't really messed with it yet because this is where I just like where I get my thing with the saber itself. And then I did take the dueling greatsword out, and then I switched my armor based on the slash effect and changed my numbers around. And you know, the two-handed stuff works, and there's another batch of videos out there for that one. Or I should say at least the two-handed stuff. And then somebody did an upgrade on the rifle, which gave an extra, I think it gave an extra crit buffer on top of that. And if you've already got, like if I took I think it was the reliable one too. So they did an upgrade on that. I wonder what that would look like too. So let's do this. Okay, yeah, so it did. It gave an increased critical damage by 20%. And since I'm already getting, if you saw that one hit that I got on that one sailor during the, which I can't believe I actually got that headshot, it gives me about 1,100 on the crit hit. So an extra 20% on top of that. That's not bad. And then if I upgraded my Buccaneer, which is the one that I use because I like that one, it deals 15% bonus damage to animals, which I don't need that at all. That's not what I'm worried about. So this is where going back to the reliable musket would be sort of the advantage if I was going to upgrade it to an epic item. And then if I upgraded my sword, what do I get? Okay, increases base critical hit chance by 10%. So it just increases the chance, but it's still pretty reliable when it comes to getting some crit hits off of that. But that's interesting. Now I've had a chance to look at that. All right, you can't. What, I can't turn my armor into epic armor? That's it. I'm done playing the game. Done. Finished. It's okay. Let's see. Oh, so for the sword thing too, the other thing I have on top of a simple. Now the other thing too is you don't necessarily have to go through the entire sequence, right? Like I can just do one at a time. I can go 2. I can go 1, 2. Kind of do 3. But if I want to go through the entire thing, and then I have which is basically clicking down on my scroll wheel, and that gives me that one. Oh, hey, I don't want to. And of course I stocked up on more clay. So I've got a little bit. And that's really for one, you know, the bottles, which are kind of important. But two, when I start doing some of the build outs, I want to use the tile. So that's going to require a lot of clay. Oh, that decor. Oh, I need to. Oh, and on that patch update that the developers are talking about, they're going to be adding 80, I think it's 80 new buildings or building pieces to the game to kind of fill gaps that some of the other players are running into. And, you know, people that are doing like a lot of sophisticated stuff, which is the build outs have been absolutely crazy, which is just another testament to one, imagination of other players and what they're able to kind of put together. And then two, again, what you can do with the game with a little creativity. Oh, this is legit, dude. And if all these are just simple wood, oh, bro, I'm gonna be all over it with team of learning privateers, man. That's what we're all about here. Okay, okay, we got potions. We got a little bit of, okay, that's what I want to do. Let's get some boiled crab. Actually, where's all my stuff with the agility on it? That's what I really need. Just to add a little bit extra. All right. We'll keep that just in case, just for whatever. All right, now the next ship quest, and 2 hours into the night. See, that was an island. I think that's an island one. Yeah, that's an island search. We want to do this one. So we want to find and search Merita's missing ship. So this is our next. So we're going to hop up. We're going to get in the ship, hop up here, and then sail on over, check that out. And we'll take it from there. I can just get there, recall the ship, and then... I'll tell you, when the light hits it, man, that's where it's at. That thing is nice looking. So I'm really curious to see where the developers take the game. Like, what would be the next? And I don't mean just from a standpoint of, Vespucci, I love it, dude. Not just from a standpoint of more quests, but more building options. And are they going to do other kind of ship builds? Are that going to be available? Because right now, I mean, we've got 9 different builds you can do, from Ketch to Brig to Frigate. So if they were going to incorporate, I would almost say, and this is just my theory, I would almost say expanding the capabilities of the ships that are already in game rather than just trying to add more ships. Because I mean, at that point, really, what more is there to add except for like a man of war? If we're going to do like the ultimate boss fight thing. Or what would be really neat, of course, I'm not the first one to probably say this, Battle Royale. Multiplayer ship battles or something, you know, that'd be kind of cool. But again, expanding ship capability, for instance, things like mortars. That's really all you would really need, is just adding mortar option. Oh, rear cannon fire option, or increasing front cannon fire, but that would be kind of think that'd be kind of overdoing it just a smidge, but anyway. And then more ship to core options. Right now, I'm really not trying to get into a fight, even though we know if we can take on 3 level 10s, we can take on 3 level 7s. I really want to get, you know, kind of stay quest focused on this last one, see where this takes us. I think I forgot to, yep, forgot to empty this thing out. That's all right. Oh, man. And the other thing I always periodically check is to make sure that there isn't any, because there's already like a scar tissue buildup, so it looks like there's natural swelling there, which that was at one point, but now that's not really the case. It's just the excess scar tissue. But what I do have to be careful of is excess inflammation and swelling. Even if there isn't any necessary pain, because I've had a nice little chunk of that throughout the last couple of years, so that in itself doesn't really tell me too much. But swelling is always a big thing. Okay, this could potentially be a problem. I should have steered a little further on the north side. Nice. It'd be interesting to see if I could take on all 6, but today is not that day. And as long as they don't turn around, I think we're going to be all right. As soon as I said that. Wow. I could try and get away with maybe coming on the inside of just along the shoreline of this island, unless these guys turn inward, and then we may end up in a little bit of a tussle, a skirmish, if you will. All right, not bad. Hope that's still part of the foothills. I don't want that to be like the swamp area. Not that that's a really big deal, but it's another one of those things where I'm not trying to get too far ahead of what's already happening. You know, I don't mind. I love exploring too, which is clearly what I'm going to do. I was wondering if there was at least one more island that would constitute like the foothill area, because I already know the parameters of the map kind of take it. This is about the limit right here. This imaginary line that doesn't exist that I'm doing with my cursor. I know you can't sink this thing. I think I have to board it, or I don't remember what you got to do with these. You can't do it. You can't destroy it because that defeats the whole purpose of what's supposed to happen. I think there might be a load of zombies on here. You know what I did before, and I didn't record it. I had the I had a bottle of potion with me that allows you to, when you drink it, you just zap back to your original area.
Ease the sails.
Did it just not do it? So what I was able to do is I got in, searched what I needed to, and snagged that potion real quick before anything else happened. So the zombies weren't able to get me, and it was kind of a... So I didn't have to try and get back up on the surface to do anything, which is pretty neat. I should have thought of that. Oh, looks like we're in a fight. Alright, we need to make a decision here. Wow, not a single hit. Not a single hit. That was crazy.
Reef the canvas. Reef the canvas. Get it fast.
I actually went a little bit quicker than I thought. I didn't think I was going to be able to down them that fast, but... I'm not going to waste my time boarding anything. So the difference between boarding a ship, one of the transport vessels, and not is just like that little teeny tiny extra you would get when you successfully take over. Whoops, I want to get this guy here because he's... But for now, I'm going to see what I can do about getting up on... Ooh, almost thought I could sink both simultaneously, but that's alright. Overshot the bow. Ooh, I can get used to this real quick. Oops, hitting the wrong button. That's why I'm not either turning or slowing down. Like, why isn't it responding? She's not responding, Captain! It's because you're not hitting the right keybinds there, Ensign. Let's go ahead and pay attention to what you need to. Oops. There we go. All right, let's try again. Try and board this thing. I gotta remember to bring that at least one bottle of that journey home potion or whatever it's called.
Ease the sails.
Okay, we not boarding? I know I have to.
Lead off speed.
Let's see here.
Reef the canvas. Ease the sails.
All right, who and what do we got going on here?
Going to hat. I will kill ya. Chop you to pieces.
Okay. All right, I can see somebody down there, so just trying to curious to know how many. Whoops. Let's get the. There we go. Well, you know what? Oh. All right, there's at least two more. I don't feel like... I mean, I know I can take on some 10s, but I just don't feel like it. Whoa. Glad I got off when I did. My goodness, 15 rounds left. Okay. Quarter pound of these cats on there. Grief, how many people are on this ship? All right, we got 3 left. One. There's one over there. Why won't you...
Ship's under your hand, Captain.
I thought it gave me the option before and I rolled up and I hit the... that's alright. You've got to be kidding me, dude. Alright, well, I clearly don't have enough to fight, and I don't have enough rounds to take on the 50 people that are... Maybe they're just respawning. Maybe I'm missing something. Alright, let's try this. My goodness, dude. If it doesn't let me board, what I'm going to do is we'll hit the island. Give me a chance to explore around there. If I can drop a fast bell. Come back to drop a fast bell, I should say, and then alright, I guess there is no separate shipboarding option. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's go. Ooh, let's explore this little gem, and then we'll head down here, see what's going on there. Man, I was sure it gave me... I thought the... Oh, you know what? I'll be able to look at the footage later. And scrub back and say, you know what? I thought it gave me the option. So we'll see what's going on there. Give him a broadside. Alright, I need to... take a quick break, turn the fan up. Whoops. Oh my goodness, it won't let me do that now. Actually, no. All right, let's see here. I can hear these guys yawning, like, oh, I'm sorry, y'all tired? Okay, so I don't have any rounds. So that option's out. So what I usually do when I hit a new area is I try and hit the coastline and get that outline highlighted out. And then from there, kind of swing my way inward a little bit. It's a pretty sizable little chunk of real estate. That looks like an alpha. So we know we're still in the foothills. We can check that box. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Eight chests? Wow. Oh, I guess this must be one of those. I wonder if this is the area where there's apparently apparently there are a couple of these things where there's a puzzle, essentially, that you have to try and figure out. Okay, we need to hook a little bit further. Okay, let's go that. Let's go north. Looks like we're yep, looks like a hardwood deposit. That's a good, decent amount, too. And there's the big tree. So one of the interesting things about, or one of the very consistent things, is when you see the big tree on any particular island, that's where the lime trees are going to be automatically. I want to mark this thing, but I don't want to get nailed in the back with, all right, so we're going to go here, and that, and so now we just marked another hardwood deposit. And what do we got here? Unique chest looted 8. Get the herbs and some XP if we finish that out. All right, well, let's keep seeing if we can ridge out the camp. That's not on the map. All right, so here's what I do there. Same thing. There's a campsite. Just mark it. Boom, done. Remember that for next time. Oh, I wonder if I can get the goat and the pirates to start fighting each other. That's always a fun thing. When you get the NPCs to engage each other, it just takes a lot of the... it's just fun to kick back and watch them do all the work for you. Got some hardwood stump. Oh, that's a goat. Thought that was a stump there for a second. Oh, there they go. More wolves. So that crab trophy, seems like everybody's still kind of working on that. These crabs are all over the place. That was actually the first trophy I got, was the crab one, because as soon as you hit a coastline, you just do a once around on a few. And these things are literally all over the place. It's hard to miss. All right, what do we got? What's the reveal? Mine? Yep, figured as much. All right, there's our iron ore mine. Sweet. Is that another one, or is that the same tree? Oh, it's another one. Sulfur. Well, since I'm here. When in Rome. These goats are really unpredictable. Even though it's only a 6, they are extremely unpredictable. And they still pack a bit of a punch there. Which is kind of nice. On the average, you can get about 2 or 3 hides per one of those. It's just how much of a tussle do you really want to put up? Get some more limes. Where am I going here? Alright, we need to go this way. Stronghold or ruins, one of the two. Oh, nice. It's one of those. Corn, soil, sugar, and yeah. Alright, I think that's sugar. Let's see what's in there. See, if I was smart, I would have... Oh, here we go. I'll just... Alright, so... We got 7, 7. This is where having a rifle would come in handy. So what I've done at other locations is try to get everybody in one spot, and then I just barricade them in. So I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to take on multiples over and over and over again. Actually, I know what I could do. So when I like in this game is a cross between Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Fortnite. I don't think they have another way out, but yep, they did. Oh, cool. Another one of these. Ooh, alpha. Nice. Where's this spot? I thought they looked like they were coming out from around the other side there too. Keep doing this every time. Keep getting I don't think I'm reaching that where I need to be. So you can make adjustments, like you can go up or down with it. You just have to kind of get the right angle, and then you can. I'm just not hitting the right tune. Nice, that's a big chunk of sugar too. Oh, cool. Let's see, learning this plan unlocks bundles of herbs, garlic and vegetables, and woven baskets of corn. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Now I can really build a nice little defect area. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Hey, you break it, you buy it, pal. We got one more to go, and then we'll get the. Actually, we'll get the check in the box for this. What kind of XP we got? 50 XP. That's not bad. Now, here's what you can do with these guys: is you can build a sort of a half section that they can't jump over that, and you can still engage, and I can still get them from here. Thing is, they can also get me too, but I think my last one's out there. I can see it. So you can just wear everybody down. I don't have to sit there and try and take on the whole crew. I don't have to worry about using a bunch of healing potions and band-aids and this and that and the other. It may seem a little bit tedious, but at the same time, you know, hey, it's your gameplay. You know what I'm saying? It's like make the most out of the mechanics of the game. I tried to put up a brick wall in one of those the barricade yesterday, and one of those sergeants like tore it up. I was like, maybe, you know, brick wall might last me a while, but it went right through that. Gave me about a minute, and he was just hammering away, and finally it gave out, and I was like, ooh, I will remember that for next time. There we go. All right. Now, just in case I need a spot to get back into. Actually, but there was one more, two more. All right, stairs. This one. And that's the thing. You don't need to bring a whole lot of stuff, just enough to really, you can get away with building anything you need with just a fiber, and you carry like 100 spool of that, or just go around chopping everything up, and you can, you know, which is exactly what I did. Where's one? Okay, it's all the way over there. And here's a way you can have a little bit of extra fun too. Why do I keep doing this, man, with these keybinds? There it is. I was like, where is that dude? So you can just build like attachments that go all the way across. You can, it's just cool how you can actually just do this stuff. I know I can take one. I mean, that's not a problem, but still. These things, they hit. All right. Now, let's get the corn. Nah, oh boy, stuck up there. Okay, I thought there was at least 2 more stalks. Corn isn't. One's a little bit tricky to pick up on. Trying to make sure I kind of do a little scan. That's why I like to get up off the ground too. You're able to kind of just traverse the area a little bit, do a quick 360. Gives you a little bit more a visual of what's going on in the AO. So let's see, what do we got left for inventory? We grab a little bit of, grab some soil. Actually, let me top this off before I forget. That's fine. I think that's sulfur over there. Alright, which was the other one we gotta do? Alright, we had one more thing we gotta do, and we can just hook back around and head back to the ship, and then we'll fast track back to home base. I want to see if this is sulfur, and if it is, we're gonna grab it. There we go. Ooh, that's not going to work. And then the other thing that I'm going to make another mental note of is when I get back to base is to get a bell. And then I'll be able to and then get back there and set one up. Plenty of limes, that's for sure. All right, so another spot with chests. Nice. Looks like we can. All right, let's just get back to the ship. Of course. Yep, I was gonna mark that spot for hardwood, but it is time to go. So it was right about, we'll just say right about there. Oh, let's get some more leather while we're here. Oh, do I want to give up anything for the bananas? I actually have about 150, or I have 3 stacks of maxed banana. But at least I know they're here, so that's always a plus. Oh yeah, never have too many misty orchids for making potions. Oh yep, sweet potato and more orchids. Good grief, this has been like the most orchid deposits I've found yet on any particular island area. Actually, I don't have room for the sweet potato, but I got tons of sweet potato. Yeah, I'm definitely putting a fast track bell at this location because, man, this place is like resource insane right now. Oh, I need those. What do I want to get rid of? Let's get rid of the gold and silver. We don't need those. Yeah, what do I want to? Okay, I know that's kind of important, but it's not essential. Actually, you know what? I can get rid of the food. I don't need that. I can make tons more of that. There we go. All right. Boom, done. In fact, we'll take out these cats down here. Call it a night.
Captain at the helm!
All right, just coming up on 3 hours. That's not bad. now it's time to make those deposits. It's my fish barrel right here. So plenty of that for doing some cooking recipes and yeah, we need to do a lot more of a dump of stuff here. So plenty of cane sugar, plenty of coffee, plenty. So the way I have it set up, when I get back, typically I have that, you know, that little rhythm to where I have all the storage containers. I know first you want to drop off. The bulk of it's going to be all the resource stuff for like recipes. So all the food stuff just kind of goes in that order, and then to like secondary, which is going to be the wood, the stone, and then we hit the chest. Oops. See, and I'll put another one back here. Maybe I don't have as much banana as I thought. That's all right. Those are all the bottles. This was, oh yeah, the hardwood stuff. There we go. Oh, I put the sulfur over here. No, I didn't. I should have. So I'm keeping the powder and just some other stuff. And that's just another miscellaneous location of goods that are right here. So if I make powder or whatnot, or if I get the sulfur, I just dump everything into this one location. That's the ore, shipbuilding material. I just have a secondary bag for all the ore stuff. All right, money's deposited. Oh, I needed to actually. This is also going to be a secondary spot for any particular weapons or gear that I might get. Posture points. I gotta figure out what that one's all about. All right, empty out the ship. So now if I wanted to, I could take a couple of these stacks down and make one to at least another 300, almost 400 on silver if I wanted to do that as far as selling the repair kits. I do want to, you know, hang on to them, but I want to take on a few more ships and see. But, you know, one of the things that I'm going to highlight again is just going out doing ship battles. We really didn't lose out on the repair kits, even though we were using them regularly during the engagements. So it's just simply all we had to do was just keep on doing engagements, and then it naturally kind of takes care of itself. And of course I can sell all these off and all that stuff. Okay, where did the... Oh, I know why I kept doing that, because as soon as I get the flax, I just come up here and start doing... Because the only thing you use the flax for is for making the linen fabric. So I just naturally just keep on producing that all on its own. And cornmeal if I need it, but I do get plenty of that. Make gunpowder. Now it's nice because each time you make one, it's at least 10 pieces, so you can make you know, your full one at 40. It doesn't really soak up too many resources, but the only time I got a little crazy was yesterday. That's when I used up a lot, going after like every, like it was a lot of, that was a lot of NPCs tucked in that little whatever. I'm gonna put a, I can start another alchemy storage thing in here just to have it ready to go. Let's see, what do I want to do this time? Not that I really needed the sign, but I just think those things are cool that they took the time to actually come up with something like that. And I'll just throw this in here for the time being. Sweet. Tell you what, I will. Let's just take all the orchids out of there. And diversify that alchemy portfolio. There we go. I didn't realize how many pearls. So this potion right here, the Homeward Journey. So you take that with you, crank that potion down if you get stuck somewhere, and then it takes you right back to your spawn area, which is kind of nice. So I've used that a few times already. All right, so we're going to have to eventually go back and figure out what's going on here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it for the night. But when I get off, what I'm going to do is just kind of get back to, I'm going to get a bell, go back up there, get that situated, maybe, you know, search this area here, see what's going on, kind of open this area up now that I know that the curvature of the map will come all the way down this way. So I know I've got this area plus this area at a minimum. But the 3-hour mark is about just what I need to for like loading up to YouTube and doing my chapter markers and all that stuff. So it'll give me a chance to explore this one. Maybe I can squeeze out another quest because I think it's this location and up here, which means I have to open up this area too. So yeah, that's pretty neat. There's still a lot. There's actually still quite a bit to do. I know some people have already finished like everything. But that's just what's neat because not only do I have, you know, all this extra exploring that I get to do, which takes time, which is part of the fun for me. And I still got the faction quest to finish out. Oh, these are the ships in a bottle. That's why I want to get that one done. I might try and knock that out tonight just to, even though it's supposed to be a level 12, but that's all right. I'll just bring some stuff with me so I can build my fighting positions and maybe I'll record it. I'll just record it separately. I won't stream it separately, but now I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. It's not that big of a deal. There's 1,001 better videos out there for Windrose. So what was this one? Iron lamps. Okay. Still don't know what these two are for the coastal jungle. Thought I really did a fairly robust once around on everywhere. And if it's seeds, I'm trying to figure out what seeds that might be because I've got the banana ones, the sweet potato ones. I've got the healing herbs are separate, but I don't know. I do not know. All right, so not a bad night all around, right? So kind of rehashing what we're going to do. Came in, started, jot that down so I can easily get to the chapter marker area where it's final thoughts and overview and close out and all that stuff. It just helps kind of streamline when I go back in to scrub the video. So when we jumped in, just kind of did a quick review or just kind of like a refresh on what I did a couple nights ago, right, with the first 5-day play, and already kind of had a game plan what I was going to do because I had opened up the foothills, and so I thought, okay, now we need to get up there and start exploring and searching and seeing what's going on. So it was a bit of a soup sandwich because I wasn't sure where to go, what to do, but that again, that's just part of, you know, getting the headspace sharpened up and then getting out there to explore, and then. In between that, I'd already kind of built up enough resources where I knew I was going to go for the new ship upgrade. So that was today. Today was we're going to get the new ship. We're going to go specifically for the Blackbeard. We're going to go for the 24-pound guns. We already know what kind of hull bracing we were going to get. Managed to do the ship, get the cannons in the hull, the bracing. I got everything upgraded right out of the gate. Didn't have to sit there and be like, oh, I gotta grind this, that, and the other. So we were good to go there, and still got plenty left over. And so we went out and just started doing sea-based questing, which turned into its own little soup sandwich because whatever. But it shows that, why I wanted to use the Blackbeard build, it worked. I can even go back and still do the other build. See, that's the nice thing about it too, is if I wanted to, I could still rack up a bunch of resources and build myself out a Brethren variant if I wanted to, and then use that cargo capacity to get out there and just kind of just get after it if I wanted to. Again, we talked about why the cargo space itself is not really the make or break option for me, just because if I'm going to be out doing the ocean stuff, well, that's where my bag already comes in handy, because I'm not going to be loaded up with a bunch of stuff and resources because I'm not building anything, I'm not doing anything, I'm just focusing solely on doing shipborne operations, right? So whatever stuff I may get, let's say it caps out, like I'm getting so much stuff, I just bounce everything over to my inventory, and then I can just keep on doing shipborne operations, right? So that's easy enough to do. So that's why the cargo thing with the ships isn't really my big focus. So we were able to knock out a couple quests. We hit a new area, which was really awesome. Did a little bit of mapping, got some resources hashed out, finished up one particular area, and then I'm going to go back and finish out all this stuff. So for 3-hour stream recording, not bad. Kind of met all the objectives we're going to do. Went out there and had some fun. Learned some good lessons on what to pay attention to. Make sure when you're questing, you're actually completing the quest, not just burning through something and then getting completely sidetracked. And then I already know that once I hit the seaborne area again, if I need repair kits, hit the transport ships. That's where all the coin, build your coin right back up again. So all in all, good night, and I appreciate everyone's time and attention. And as always, my fellow gamers, play with a purpose, soak up all that bandwidth, and I wish you all the success in all of your gaming endeavors. And I will see you online.